Hey, welcome everyone to the Dusty Wheel. It's awesome to have you back here for another monthly discussion of the Wheel of Time on Prime's announcement. I'm assuming all of you have actually seen this video already. It was really cool. We got snippets of the table read from episodes 1 and 2 of the cast and the crew. It was a really cool kind of 55 seconds. And so what we're going to do before we get started in the discussion, and if you've never been with us before, know that this is a call-in show. We'll put the number up for you, and you'll be able to give us a call, tell us what your opinions are, or you can leave comments in the YouTube chat, and we'll try to address those too. But before we get started, like I said, if you haven't seen it, or if you have, I don't think you'll mind watching this for another 55 seconds. So enjoy this, and then we'll get started talking about it.
So, The Wheel of Time, Season 1, Episode 1.
You go back, you give them a way to follow us. I can't allow that. Crossing that river would be foolish, and you are not a fool.
Come on, do you really think she's any better than what's chasing us?
Of course I do.
Till then, though, the lady does shoot fireballs, so let's try and stay on her good side, eh?
And off this, we smash to black at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'll be honest. I think I've watched that at least 30 times today. A lot of it was to prepare for the show, but it's just really enjoyable to watch them begin to actually say the dialogue from the show that we're going to watch. And so, I just like we do each time, I have my panel here with me. We have Tal, and we have Todd and Mary, and we'll get you guys here up on the screen in just a second. You can say hello to the to all the guests or all the viewers now. Hey, good to see you guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Tal, you're back. We missed you last week.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so you guys have seen this. I just want to get your first reactions. What were your first reactions to this? What did you notice most? What stood out to you? Todd, why don't we begin with you?
It's happening. That was the first thing. I was like, holy shit, it's actually happening. They're really, really, really doing it. So, I mean, that was first reaction.
Yeah, right. I think that was everyone's. What stood out to you then? Like, other than just it's happening, what was?
I mean, there were things I see really dumb things, but like seeing, I'm blanking on everybody's name, the guy playing Rand, and seeing him laugh. It was just like, yep, okay, there we go. That's him. You know, seeing everybody doing what I think they should be doing to make this work like I want it to work. It really felt good to see it.
Cool. So you felt, yeah, I felt the same way that, Josh did a fantastic job there. Again, this is just the table read, right? Seeing them actually, in costume, seeing them in the Edmonds Field, seeing them, leave, all these things are going to be really fun. Mary,
together, bonding, making it work, that just was really good.
Yeah. Mary, what was your reaction to it?
What stuck out to me was Barney making that kind of snide comment about, she shoots fireballs, we should stay on her good side. That was just, textbook Matt, It's like, yeah, I'm starting to dig it.
Yeah, I imagine this is going to be true, just like it was in the books. I think Matt's going to get a lot of the good lines, right? And they just proved that they definitely, obviously, they filmed a lot of this, so they certainly cut out a really awesome line from Matt to give us. And I think that one, I mean, that's the funniest moment there, and that one definitely stuck out to me. And it was fun to see him kind of, inhabit this space that we've all thought of as Matt. And I'll be honest, the accents, I don't know why this matters. I don't know if it's like an Americanism. I don't know if it's just when somebody's speaking in an accent that you're not familiar with, it just sounds more exotic and cool, And so it wasn't just like, I don't know. There was something about the accent, for me at least, that just made it even that more, I don't know, real, cinematic. I don't know what the word is. Okay, Tal, your accent's that way for me, Tal. I don't know if you know.
I don't have an accent. Dip it.
You're here representing all
really...
Canadians. Yeah, you don't. I don't.
Oh, that's okay. I was really happy. It made my heart happy to see it. I watched it over and over again because it was just so nice to see everybody who I didn't know in a room all together, looking excited to be there, just like I was excited to be watching them. It was really fascinating to sort of see the way their faces and bodies changed as they took on their characters in the table read.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, hearing Maureen speak for the first time, so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I liked Land. Well, again, I'm sure there's a lot of speaking going on in this table read, but we only got those snippets, so it was fun. I think Jason from Dragon Mount pointed this out. It was almost fun to not hear Land's voice, not hear Daniel Henney at all. We saw him there clapping and smiling and kind of being stoic, so it was really funny. So a lot of fans have felt like we not deserved, that's a wrong word, wanted a cast announcement here. There's a lot of desire to know that some of these figures are going to be in the show. I know Dragon Mount's done a couple of articles. I think Adam Whitehead from Wurtzone has done some articles there with them about this idea that these guest appearances, right? Tom is only really, let's say, going to be on the show, if he is, right? If they haven't cut him, maybe 2 episodes. Tam, maybe we get him for 1. Maybe, and not that they won't, maybe do some, and they won't go back to the village a little bit and maybe see some scenes, but they made the point in some of the articles I've read that, these guests aren't necessarily going to show up in these big announcements for the cast, but we certainly saw other people around the table that were not the cast that had been announced. And so that kind of kicked off a firestorm, whatever cliche word you want to use, of just...
And only one nameplate.
Yeah, right? Was there anybody sitting around that table that you thought to yourself, like, oh man, I wonder if that person is going to play this particular role? I know I jokingly pointed out that one of the actors there, could pass for Tom maybe, but was there anybody there that you saw at the table that was kind of piqued your interest as maybe somebody else?
It could be Tom, or it could be Sen Bui.
Yeah, right. That could be Sen, or it could be, right. I mean, so before we go too far down that road, at the table read, right, there are more than just the cast, right? It's the crew, producers, sometimes the department heads. As far as I understand, and I don't know anything about the industry, but as far as I read, at least today, sometimes if the person that's supposed to read a part isn't there, then they have somebody kind of stand in and read the lines just to keep it moving. So
that's a really common practice, Matt.
Is that okay? Good. So
yeah.
Those people aren't necessarily individuals that are cast in those roles, but I did like some of the things that brought up the individual sitting next to Egwene. People brought up that maybe that's her mother. Somebody brought up, Tal, did you mention somebody brought up that it might be Varen?
Oh, just me, because
okay.
She's a brunette and wears glasses. Like,
okay, you were thinking.
I don't have a better reason.
You were thinking someone like that. Yeah. Patton Fane is a big one here. There was one actor, or we don't know if it's an actor, cast member, and this one I think took up most of the imagination of fans online. And I'm going to butcher his name, the actor's name. It's Michael Macalatin. There we go. I should have had you. Michael Macalatin, right? He's known from Game of Thrones fame. He's known for other things, but that's one, and most recently. A lot of people said somebody sitting at the table looked like him. Now, I would have included a screenshot of that individual, but it's just too small, right? You zoom in, you can't really see anything. I will admit that I took a photo of that actor from the side. I found a side profile, put it next to the picture of him, and it still just seems kind of off, but a lot of people are really sure because I don't know if you guys saw this online. He happened to be wearing a bracelet on his right arm, and Mary, how do you say his last name? Michael Macalatin. There we go. There's like two shots, screenshots online of him also wearing this little bracelet. People jokingly called it a Terangriel bracelet. So there's this little intrigue on whether or not that he's part of this, or if it's just somebody that happens to look a lot like him, really blurry. So that was one of the big kind of things that kind of came out today. Was there anybody else that you guys saw sitting at the table that was of interest, that you kind of like you made you wonder who was sitting there and who might be part of the show or not part of the show?
There was the African-American guy with the huge smile. I think he was wearing a white hoodie. I'm not positive what he was wearing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah, he was sitting next to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he was sitting next to whoever the lady is with the glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean that's one that caught my eye. That I was like, okay, where can the fit in? You know, it was just trying to figure out who would do what and be where.
Yeah. There's a lot of open roles here, and that's right. We're still missing, and most of us believe that Mordath Wright is still going to be in this at some level. Shatter Logoth is still
this guy.
I can't see. Here, there. Todd is showing us, but did you showed it on screen there? Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah. So, yeah, and definitely we don't know, right? Who's actors or who's writers. Who are you thinking he might play?
I don't know. I mean,
he could be Fane for all we know.
Yeah,
Pat and Fane. Let's say Pat and Fane.
Pat and Fane.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Pat and Fane.
You know.
Well, if anyone else is...
the important thing to remember here is that the table read was supposedly for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And so that's everybody with a speaking part of more than like 1 to 2 sentences, you know? So A, B, and C characters. That's a lot of bodies around a table.
Yeah, it was, and we don't know exactly. We didn't get a view of every single person around that table. There were some corners that of the. If you notice, right, there was kind of a far right and left corner we didn't really see much of. They definitely did focus mostly on the cast members that we already knew about. Now, by the way, for those of you that are watching, if you have some comments and you want to give us a call, remember the phone. You can call us right now. It's 1-313-825-5968. That's 1-313-825-5968, or it's TalkWot. Give us a call. We'll put you in the show. We'd love to hear what you thought when you first saw that video from Amazon Prime. You know, what you thought as far as when you looked around the table, if any of those actors stuck out to you as perhaps being someone that you might have imagined. There were, I think some of the names that came up, I did notice that some of the writers, I think Amanda Kate Schumann was there. It looks like Paul Clarkson, who's been announced as a writer, might have been there. Maybe Justine Gilmer, but it's not clear, right? We're taking these shots. We're taking screenshots of a video and then trying to match it up against a random photo that the person's posted to the internet. So that doesn't always work that well. But
come on, it's an exact science.
But I mean, yeah, go ahead, Todd.
We're theorylanders. We go with it.
That's right. This is part of the.
Been doing this for 20 years, Matt.
Yeah, no, you're like, you guys. This is old hat. Of course, we just take very little data and facts, and we try to make something bigger out of it.
Totally run with it.
That's right.
Just see where it'll go. Take it till it breaks, then put it back together and do it again.
I don't want to bring up any, angsty bad blood, but I did notice that that Larry Mondragon happened to be there from Red Eagle Entertainment. I saw him kind of between 2 shots and threw up a little screenshot online. Some of the executive producers were definitely there. There might have even been another one, Mike Weber or Weber, however you say his name. Might have been there. Anyways, you can tell this is a big thing. I mean, obviously, I think this is pretty normal for the industry, but there were definitely a lot of mix of crew and cast there, which was awesome to see. And it was 55 seconds, and I get all the reactions around the internet was fun. And people are still talking about it, which is, they're talking about it across all the forums and such, and across social media. So it's fun to at least wonder. I'm sure this won't be the end of it. Over the next month, we'll be kind of asking ourselves, because Rafe did do some, made some tweets this past week, and just trying to catch everybody up. One of the tweets he did from Edmonds Field happened to be a picture of a sheep, trolloc, goat, whatever you want to call it. But it was a sheep. It was what was the type of sheep it was? Do you guys remember Anyways,
Jacob's sheep.
A Jacob sheep. Yeah.
And you want to know how hard it was not to make a sheep joke? It just hurt.
Well, what was cool in his tweet that he said was he was walking with Moraine, Lan, Egwene, Trollocs, and sheep in Edmund's Field. And that was just really, that was a lot of fun. And then he said today, to follow up on that, he talked about being in the mountains. And I think his exact quote was, Amazon just released some glimpses of our incredible cast, reading the first 2 episodes of The Wheel of Time. And I would have posted it sooner, but I was in the mountains watching Moraine, Lan, and some kids from the 2 rivers race their horses across a river. So now we know that the table reading was episodes 1 and 2. Break down that question of Moraine, Lan, and some kids racing their horses across a river. Where do we believe this is at?
Well, shooting happens out of order. So it could have been episode 2 and not 1. Just because of proximity and locations. I don't know. Could be Terran Ferry.
Yeah, I wonder if it is Terran Ferry. But I mean, do you think that there's a possibility that they took away the ferry part of Terran Ferry? In other words, that they're in essence trying to lose the people, the Trollocs and the Drakkar, by just crossing a river, like getting rid of that whole kind of like, we're going to stop here, he's going to take us across the ferry, and we're going to ditch the ferry? Or do you think this is just racing their horses across the ferry is just another way of saying like they got on across the rivers, they got on the ferry and they crossed it? Because I don't know. To me, it could be either way. I mean, maybe it's not just one place.
Well, it could be just an
Were they in
opportunity to
the
show
mountain?
some scenery. And it could also be, we know from the books that Fades can't follow across running water, or they can't cross running water. So
Right.
That could be an Easter egg for us readers. But it could also be, an atmospheric shot of not just the scenery, but showing, they're running for their lives. They're being chased. They're being, it's setting the mood.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing to keep in mind is that Rafe needs to be fairly obfuscating in terms of his release of details.
That's a great word.
Right? So
Yeah.
he's not describing a fairy likely on purpose.
Yeah, right. He has to, I guess you could think of this as a wink to us. He can't say too much, but even those of us that, all the fans know exactly what he's talking about. I like that idea. Oh, well,
But it could be Berlin.
No,
Yeah, what do you? How far away are they from the mountains, though? I don't know. I know the mountains of Mist are there, but he said in the mountains.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. And it could just be right as they're leaving the area, I guess. But anyways, let's jump before we can jump back to that. We have a caller. It's Ben from Mesa, Arizona. Let's bring Ben in here. Hey, Ben, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Appreciate you calling in. What was your reaction today? I'm assuming you either saw the snippet today or while you were watching today. What was your reaction to what you saw?
Oh man, I was so excited to see everyone there. I'm a bit of a lapsed, Wheel of Time fan, but recently I started watching your guys' videos and other videos on YouTube and stuff, and just getting really deep into the lore, and it just reignited all this love that I have for the series. I'm so excited that it's right before the show happens. So yeah, it was great to see Maureen talk and to see Perrin look swole. He looks nice and wide and like we all want. Matt looks hilarious. It's just great.
What stood out to you the most then when you're watching the table read? Was there anything that stood out to you? There was somebody missing or somebody that was there?
Oh, I'm so curious when they're going to bring in Tom Maryland. And I wonder if he's there. We just don't know who he is yet. But it feels like he should be there from the beginning. That I don't know. For me, when I was first reading The World, that was one of the big things that grabbed me was, this entertainer guy that kind of entwines himself or gets entwined into the plots. But he also serves a good, important purpose in the story of being able to provide exposition in a way that feels natural, since he's a natural storyteller. So I feel like he should be there, and hopefully, he is. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, that's the fun thing. It'll be at least fun for us to I guess, speculate as to who was there. You know, in the end of the day, they might not, you know, who knows if they're going to do big announcements for all of the, you know, just kind of guest individuals that are on the show that aren't going to be on every episode. So maybe this was just a nice nod. This feels like a nice nod from them of like, look, we can't just announce everyone that you want to hear maybe right now, but we can give you a peek into the table read, which should suggest to you that there are certainly more people than the 7 or or whatever that have been, 6 that have been announced. So,
7.
Is it 7? Sorry. I was like, wait, 5 at Midfield. Yeah, sorry. 7.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for maybe an out of whack announcement tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, I could see that happening. If Michael McElhatton is there, it's really weird they haven't announced him yet. I'm sort of on the fence with the whole bracelet being a tell or not, but it definitely looks like him, and it feels weird that if they did hire him, that Amazon wouldn't, come out guns blazing and say, "Hey, we got a Game of Thrones actor on the show."
Yeah. This is look. Part of me wants to really believe that it's him, just because I love the little kind of. It just feels weird that they would show us this way that it's him, just been a random kind of shot, and for somebody that's that. But again, maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe even an actor like him will show up and has maybe in other shows have shown up without the big announcements. And so this was a little bit of their kind of nod to, hey, there's some bigger names that are coming. I don't know, that one, like the bracelet thing. Look, I'll be honest. I got as deep as the ears. I was looking at the ears. That's like totally.
Oh my God, Matt.
Look. This is what happens. You're shocked.
Totally shocked.
Look, the ear looks. Too. I'm telling you.
No, see,
the ear looks really close.
I was talking to whoever is on the Twitter account for the Dusty Inn, and I was going over like, hey, it's a different type of a bracelet. It's, he usually wears like an acupressure bracelet. This is a different one. It's not an acupressure one that I can tell. But honestly, like I was watching it because I was doing this all at work when I should have been working. And I got home and watched it on my big screen. I'm like, you know what? It really does look like him, though. It's a little blurry, a little bit weird, but it looks so much like him.
Couldn't he be Tam just as easily?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think he could be either Tam. I think that he could be Tom. Honestly, I think he'd probably fit better as a Tam or maybe even a Padan Thane if they wanted to sort of make that role a little bit more of a consistent antagonist.
Well, Ben, thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was me you were probably talking to on Twitter, so I appreciate the comments back and forth today. That was a lot of fun. And look, I'm going to take a close look again because I know it's not a guarantee, but I'm telling you all, the ears look almost identical. That's what I'm saying. So, hey, we'll call in again, Ben. We appreciate you being on the show. Hey, thanks for calling, and call us next week.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. We left one caller on that. He's been waiting a good 6 minutes or so. It looks like Nablus from Ohio. Let's bring him in. Nablus from Ohio. Welcome to Dusty Wheel. Appreciate you calling in. What are your comments today?
Well, hey guys, I wanted to say I think it's awesome what you're doing. I do YouTube as well.
Oh, this is the Nablus. Awesome.
That's me.
Awesome. No, man, I've watched some of your shows, but that's awesome to have you.
Yeah, no, guys, it's great what you're doing. I love it, and so I obviously made a video about the topic today, but there was a couple things that I missed because I was trying to cram to get it out, and I thought, you know what, let's just throw this out as a discussion.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first of all, right off the bat, you guys were just talking about this, so like right before you beat me in here, but I thought about, who else he could be if it was him as a Shamael.
Oh, I love that.
I would like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
I wouldn't be angry. I wouldn't be angry. It's funny. The character that I think he fits the best for is Tam. He's also the one that I think is the least likely that he'll be. Because I don't feel like that's a big enough part to warrant him.
Yeah, if it's him, I do like. I know we've probably this one's the most common one to think of him, but I do like him as Mordath. As in, I like him as Padan Thane in the sense of kind of make him a little bit weird and crazy or whatever. But I like the idea that once he's infected, we still have, it's still Patton Fane, the actor, right? So, but it's more death, as in, I like that there's more kind of a classy nature to, well, I don't know if classy is the right word for more death, but there's a more highborn nature to more death than Patton Fane.
Skeevy. Is skeevy the word you're looking for?
Oh, look, I mean, maybe more death covers a lot of different emotions there, but no, I like him because I feel like he could play that kind of back and forth that we get for a bit in the books. And this is a lot coming from my love of Patton Fane and More Death. So it's just me going like, oh, I would love this actor to jump in there. But I think you're right. Ishamael would be amazing, I think.
So good.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Did anybody else stick out to you that was missing? I haven't caught the video you did today. So was there anybody else that you were kind of looking around the table wondering if they were a particular character or not?
Well, so I was kind of putting, like, obviously all of us were, I was kind of putting my tinfoil hat on and trying to, either sleuth it out or make some wild guesses. But I did a little bit of scouting out the table there. So they put the main 7 at the back end of the table there against the window. And so they had assigned seats. So here's the thing. They very clearly put all of those people right over there. And so they deliberately did not show us to the right of Rafe and Yuta Bresowitz, because they were sitting at the other end of the table.
Right.
So we kind of have a whole missing stretches of people there. And so, obviously there's a Tam in there somewhere. So, and again, Tam and Tom are, I think, the two main ones that we know are likely to be in that first episode. And I think that, again, I don't really know. We don't know enough, so we can just guess.
Yeah, right.
But
right. And that's.
I'll tell you the other. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say the other topic I thought about, and I hinted at this, but I didn't really have an answer for it. So I'm curious if you guys do. I mentioned this in my video. At the end, they go okay, and then slam, fade to black, like the narrator in the background says that. Typically in television shows, when they do a quick fade to black, it's accompanied with some type of a cliffhanger of sorts. Okay. So like if we want to use Game of Thrones as an example, right after the first episode, you have a very traumatic, I won't spoil anything, I guess, but somebody gets shoved out a window and falls. Fade to black. Right. So okay. I'm wondering, if they're doing that, what is the fade to black moment in episode 1 or 2? What is that moment?
I like this. I have some ideas. Mary, do you have anything that's coming to mind? So I'm thinking end of episode 2 is this fade to black thing. That's what I'm thinking, because Rafe put out a tweet saying it was episode 1 and 2 that they read. So let's just say this was end of episode 2. Mary, any thoughts on what might be there? Cliffhanger?
I don't know if it would be episode 2 or episode 1, but the Trolloc attack and the fallout of the Trolloc attack, especially if, Tam is going to be injured in the Trolloc attack, or I think that would be an excellent cliffhanger for either of those episodes.
So you're saying maybe episode 1, we get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me again what episode 2 is called.
Shadows Waiting. I believe Shadows Waiting is the episode 2. That's the idea.
Okay, so let me push this in here. I'm wondering now if the episode titles might have changed, and here's why I say that. If you do a close up on the script they showed at the beginning of that.
Yeah.
They have the episode title blurred out. It's not there anymore, and they deliberately blurred it. So why would they have blurred it if he has already released that title to us as leave taking?
Okay.
That's true.
Let me point out something really clear here. You totally fit on this call, because that's the kind of crap that we love, which is that little blur wants to say something, and whether or not they're just trolling us or whether or not they just blurred it, it doesn't matter, because they absolutely could have changed the episode titles. You're correct in saying that. Just because they showed it to us, whatever, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, doesn't mean that that's what it stayed at this point. So I like that idea that they might have changed it. The fade to black for me absolutely would be, if it's going along the way that I think they'll adapt it, I'm going to pick the fade to black as, maybe Perrin going off. Doesn't he go off a cliff or whatever into the river in essence? Or in essence, I think it would have something to do with Shatter Logoth in a fade to black moment. You can kind of pick a variety of ones there, but I would love it if the fade to black moment was something like one of that, one of the whether it's a Trolloc or it's being Perrin and Egwene being chased out. Obviously, it all depends on what happens from an adaptation standpoint. But
ooh, can you imagine if it's if it isn't Shadar Logoth and they're focusing on Matt and Rand, and there's some big scary thing, standard horror movie stuff, and zooms in on them, and the fade to black moment is Matt grabs the dagger.
Yes.
Well, see, that's cool for but it's not like a cliffhanger per se. Like for everybody, for us, we'd be like, oh yeah, dun dun dun, whatever. We have this moment, but yeah, I wonder. This is gonna. I think we should find out. Like, I'd love to hear what people are saying from a comment perspective. What do you think the fade to black moment is? And by the way, I know we have a couple other people waiting online here, but
I didn't. I want to monopolize, but hey, great job, guys.
Can I Bliss call back?
Yes, please. You should. Yes, please do call back. And by the way,
I'll call back another time for sure, guys.
We'd love to have you in as with our little panel here. Put 4 of us on the screen and just and do some fun discussion sometime. So maybe we'll throw you
plenty of tin hats to go around.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you say? What did you say, Mary?
We've got plenty of tinfoil hats.
People get to see my ugly face all the time.
Yeah, I know they do. But we'd love to pick your brain because you definitely fit within our type of Wheel of Time superfan freak. So hey, thank you very much for calling in, Nameless. Really appreciate it. We really appreciate the support. And by the way, if anyone happens to be watching us that has never seen the Nameless's YouTube, I don't think it's possible. I think you all have seen it. But if you haven't, go watch it. And also Daniel Green. Both of you guys have made amazing content. So really appreciate, Nameless, you calling in. And let me bring in Lancer and first, and then it's some return callers here. Let's bring them in. Hey, Lancer, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Welcome back, I should say. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing excellent. It's kind of hard to follow the Nameless, though.
Yeah, right? Well, you I'm sure. Well, just give us your reaction to the clip today that you saw. That 55 seconds of that table read. What was your reaction?
Well, my first reaction, I was at work also when I saw it, and, I had to be working. But, when I finally got to actually watch it, the couple of things that stood out to me was I thought I saw a serpent ring on someone's finger. So I was thinking, maybe because it was a little bit thicker than how they describe in the books. But I was looking at it going, that does look like a serpent ring. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then Matt's reaction to Moraine throwing fireballs. The first thing I thought of, we get fireballs! Yeah! So, that's the little kid in me saying, special effects, yes! So I thought that was also pretty cool. But the cool thing, what is it? McElroy, the Game of Thrones dude. Nameless took my idea that it could possibly be Ishmael, possibly an older version of him, and then go to a younger guy for when he's actually Nabley. So that was kind of fun. Thanks, Nabley, for taking my idea. But my money though is that he's Tam Althor. That's where my money is. And to answer your question on the fade to black, I'm not sure if it fits the timeline, but I would think the fade to black would be when Tom is yelling at Matt and Rand saying, "Get out of here!" right before he fights the fade, and he jumps into the fight, and then boom. Exactly, and then fade to black, and then boom, because you don't know his fate, and you don't see Tom for like maybe 2-3 episodes, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, hi, I'm here. Wait.
I have this new limp.
I love that.
Right,
idea.
and I think the third episode is Camelin, isn't it? So doesn't he show back up in Camelin? So that would be a great fade to black and have 3/4 of the episode of the Camelin episode, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, there's Tom. And since I didn't see Pierce Brosnan, I guess we're going to be surprised that Tom is there or something. So.
Well, we don't see Tom for a while, I don't think. We don't see him after.
Remember, Tom has to sing. We don't need Pierce Brosnan in that role.
Well, no, you brought up an awesome point. I think the White Bridge moment to Nablus' question here, is a great would be a great fade to black. I would love that as a fade to black if we can get there. By the end of the second episode, it kind of makes me wonder if they can get there that quickly.
And I'd have to rewatch it, Matt, but I think the language used in that 55-second clip is smash black.
Smash black, yes, it is. I wrote it down, but I'm not sure that I still have it anywhere. Yes, you're right. Smash, is it like smash black or smash to black? I don't know. Something like that.
Like more impactful than fade is where I'm going.
You think that smash was indicative of something about?
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I'd love to. That would be a fun thing to put out on social media afterwards, which is the smash to black or fade to black moment. What is that? What's everyone's kind of top? I'm sure one of the Wheel of Time posters on Twitter will probably put something out there like that soon. Well, hey, Lancer, appreciate your comments. That was awesome. I totally agree that it might be White Bridge. And I think we're all there with you. It was awesome to see just the cast reading around the table. By the way, send me a note afterwards. I'm kind of, maybe I'll just go back and watch it, where it is, where the ring shows up. I absolutely missed that in all of my looking around and obsessively watching this today. I clearly missed that piece. So
yeah, it was just a quick thing, but I could have sworn I saw a thick ring on someone's left hand. So, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw a serpent ring possibly. So
okay, well, I will have to go back and check it out this time. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, Lancer. Thanks for waiting for us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, you guys. You guys are awesome. You rock.
Thanks.
Bye.
And then we have Chantanese calling us in. She made it back to this week. Let's bring her in. Chantanese, sorry for the wait. You waited for us a long time. I really appreciate that. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
So, what was your reaction? Let me hear it.
Well, first and foremost, my big takeaway was just how pitch perfect all of the actors were in just a few snippets of dialogue, not even whole sentences in some cases. Especially Egwene, who didn't really say much of anything, you still got a sense of confidence. You got a performance from each of them, which for a table read, I think is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I like that they were really into it. The laughter after Matt's line was really great across the table. You can tell they're all going to have fun with that. But yeah, I liked that Egwene and Rand. Even just the little snippet we got, it kind of felt like, okay, I can see how this is going to be fun and interesting between the two of them. Anything else? Sorry, go ahead.
The actress is doing a really beautiful thing with her chin. And just the way she carries her shoulders too, that I sort of caught on my first watch, that I really liked.
Really, I got to go back and I think
I saw that too. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I think Madeline is going to do a great job. I think that just what I've seen from her on social media and just this one little piece, I'm very excited to see what she does. And of course, Rosamund as Moraine, of course.
Of course. Oh my gosh, she's man, this is going to be a long year ahead of us, or whatever it's going to be, a year and a half. I don't know how long we have to wait. Oh, geez.
Yes.
This will be brutal.
Late 2020 is what I saw today.
What? Did you see something like that? Late 2020? I always think 2021. That's what I'm trying to conservatively tell myself. It's 2021, so I'll be surprised if we get 2020. That would be amazing.
Is it really going to be 2021 before we see the actual show?
Who knows? We don't know yet.
That's a long time.
It is a long time, but they're doing the shoot. I think they're shooting until, I want to say April or May. So
see, Jordan Con.
And visual effects takes a long time.
So I think that's the point, is that they're shooting. There's such a long shoot. And so what does that mean for actually getting it onto screen? And that's why in my head I think early to 2021. That's just my guess. I don't know anything, but yeah, that's my guess. Anything else stand out to you in that in the table read that kind of struck you as interesting?
Well, I liked the just overall energy of the people at the table. It looked like it was a very fun thing to attend. Everyone seemed to be enjoying it. And the video was edited in a very upbeat way. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just encouraging to see this sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this. I did have maybe it was like on the 11th time I watched it. there was the music kind of gave me a Harry Potter vibe. Now, don't kill me for saying that, but it just I had kind of there was some like it was very upbeat. I don't think that that's the show kind of mood, but it was really kind of I just had this like, oh look, it's the Harry Potter team sitting around talking, But anyways, it was
well, something tells me the White Tower is not going to be anything like Hogwarts.
What were you gonna say, Todd?
I was going to say, I'm so bad, I don't even remember the music. I'll have to go back and pay attention to that. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even do that. Yeah, there's so many things now. Great, now I'm going to go back and watch this thing another 10 times.
No, well, but there's a point there. Like, honestly, if they spent this much effort on a pre-production, like, fan video, it gives me good feelings about the effort that they're putting into other things.
Yeah.
And I guess seeing the interaction.
The Sims in the background, and that was the music.
Sure. Or that.
And getting to see the interaction of the characters, that was another thing that, I was really worried about how they were going to work together. But I'm not having that worry really anymore.
Yeah. Hey, Shantae, thank you very much for calling in.
Well, I thought Joshua...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I thought Joshua and Barney did a great job playing wool-headed sheep herders.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I mean, I'm convinced that I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know about every other Wheel of Time fan out there, but they have me. They're pulling me in, and I imagine for this next year they're going to continue doing the same thing. And so far, I'm thrilled so far with what they're doing. So, hey, by the way, thank you always for calling in. We really appreciate your support, and hopefully you'll give us a call next week.
Well, I'll try.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Can we recruit Shantae for JordanCon?
I know, right? See, I need to do just a JordanCon episode. That'd be so much fun to have.
Slash, are we doing this at JordanCon?
Who knows? Maybe we should chat about that. That'd be fun. By the way, we have someone from Sweden. I think it's Oscar from Sweden. Let's bring him in. He's been waiting 6 minutes. I apologize, Oscar. I hope it wasn't too expensive to call us. Let's bring you into the show. Hey, is this Oscar from Sweden?
Yep.
Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Appreciate you calling.
Thank you.
Hey, what was your reaction to today's table read video? What did you think about it?
Oh man, so much stuff. It's just good for it to be on the go right now.
So what was did you have any things that stood out, anything about the Wheel of Time from a perspective of what they showed us or what you hope to see in season 1, episodes 1 and 2 that you want to tell us about?
Well, it was more about the table read. I mean, you can really see that the actors are trying to really get into the characters already. So that's a positive. There's little quips and Barney Harris who plays Matt, of course, for example.
Who did you like the best from who kind of struck you as kind of the exact way that you thought the character was in the books, or in essence, who was your favorite on the table read?
One that really stood out for me, that kind of, oh God, I totally forgot her name, but the one who plays Egwene.
Yeah.
I think that you could really sense, I had to admit I have been a bit uncertain about her playing as Egwene before. I think that her line just kind of stole it a little for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of wondered Madeline. Yeah, Madeline. I can't remember Madeline's last name at this moment. But yeah, she's a
Madeline Madden.
Madeline Madden. Yeah, great. Yeah, I've been watching some videos of her just outside of the show and everything, and definitely kind of speaks to me as kind of an Egwene character. And I think she embodies it really well. So. Anybody else that stood out for you? I know you liked Madeline. Was there anybody else that you thought just played it really well?
Well, I also like the fact I know people have been a bit looking down on Marcus Rutherford a bit for being a bit too thin, also. But I think you can see in this a picture that he's really been stocking up a bit.
Yes, yeah. He they did. I mean, I'll be honest. I admit, I wondered. I was like, I mean, not that they couldn't get him there physically speaking, but it was like he's going to have to put some bulk on, and everyone was talking about that. I don't know if it was the sweatshirt or what, but we definitely have seen pictures of them going to the gym, and working out there. And I think I saw a lot of comments online today about that he seemed to kind of physically be embodying the role better. So yeah, no, I agree with you that. I was hoping we'd get a line from him also. That's what I was kind of bummed. I was hoping we would get a line from each one of them. But maybe again, this whole kind of, they give us a little bit here, and they kind of make us wait until another month, and then we'll get a little bit more. They're smart in how they're doing it, and it went really well today, I think.
Yeah, I agree that. I mean, I think also it's a bit sad that we didn't get a line from him, especially considering the fact that we heard from Rafe and the others that his line has been really emotional. So I think it's a bit sad, but I think that is to be seen in the future. So, yeah.
Hey, Oscar, thank you very much. By the way, you stayed up and you called us, and that's amazing. Thank you for calling in, and I hope that you'll keep watching us. I hope you'll keep watching us, and I hope you'll give us another call back when we do our show on a weekly basis. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Hey, have a good one. Hey, good night.
Bye.
Nice. Yes.
Good night.
Hi, Sharma Netherin.
Wow, like he's staying up. I think we checked last time someone called us from Sweden. I think this is someone different. I'm trying to remember who called us before, but I think it was 3 a.m. or something like that. Maybe it's, anyways, 2 or 3 a.m. So that's awesome that they stayed up and called us to give us their opinion. One more caller on. We just had this rush of callers. Let's bring in, I think, all of the panelists. You all know Nick from Florida. Let's bring him in. Hey, Nick, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Man, that's the longest I think I've been on hold.
I know, man.
For the
Sorry.
show.
There was a lot of callers ahead of you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm glad the show is growing that much, that there's that many people that are calling in.
So what was your take on today's table read video?
Oh, I really loved it. I've watched it about 8 or 9 times by now. And every time I watch, I keep noticing more and more things. My initial impression was like Taj, which is, oh my God, this is happening. This is actually going to happen. But my second impression was Rosamund Pike is perfect for Maureen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hearing her speak, it was like she's the absolute casting, and I just couldn't even. I also like the guy who's playing Perrin is he's bulked up. That's made me really happy.
Yeah.
I was worried.
You were worried, yeah. Well, I wasn't too worried that they could get him into the gym. Like I knew that was gonna happen. So that part, it was just nice to see, right? You're always kind of wondering, but this is Hollywood, right? You see actors do this all the time, right? Bulk up and then
he went on the Hugh Jackman diet.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else?
Yeah.
So what do you think the smash to black moments at the end of the table read?
I think.
Yeah, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts there?
I think Smash to Black should become a hashtag on Twitter. and instead of Fade to Black for the show, it should be Smash to Black.
I can't remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it already a hashtag on Twitter?
I don't think so, but we should absolutely make it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and after this, Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say one of the previous callers was talking about the White Tower isn't going to be Hogwarts. I think, obviously, I know they're not going to do this, but I think that would be absolutely hilarious if Rafe released the troll picture of the White Tower and it was at Hogwarts, and see how long it took before the internet heads just collectively exploded.
Yeah, I don't. This is
just have it in like the.
It's been interesting to see. I I've wondered if they, would go down the kind of, not trolling the fans isn't the right word necessarily, but kind of teasing the fans a little bit. But they played it really straight. Trollocking the fans. That's good.
I don't know. The baby goat frolic thing was kind of a troll, wasn't it?
No. See, I don't take it that way at all. No, I think that was awesome. I think it was a way for him to be able to share something with us that he could, and he knew that we would enjoy. Right? He obviously knew when he shared that photo that we would all think baby Trolloc, or she or goat, which some of us thought too. Myself.
He did later clarify it was not at all a Trolloc.
Baby
it was
Trolloc.
just a sheep.
I know, but it is a baby Trolloc. Yeah, no.
Thanks, Mary.
Yes, that would be it. That would be a great troll. It turns out that the baby Trollocs are cute when they're little, and then they grow up to be monsters.
Cute baby Trollocs. Every baby's cute, right? No, it's a lie.
I don't know. They have baby Trollocs at Jordan Con, and they are freaking adorable.
Well, as always, Nick, did you have one more comment before you go here? Was there anything else that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah. The other thing that stood out to me was the fireball comment, and it makes me hope that they do like an actual like D&D type fireball, like because she's throwing it from her hands anyway. So I hope that that's sort of like the animation that they use, that it invokes the D&D wizard's fireball. And I hope that that's not just a throwaway line. Someone else said it in the comments, but I hope we see it instead of Jim just talking about it.
Yeah, where she brings in the fireball, it'll be interesting to see how deep they go into her quote unquote, I guess, skill set, her weave set. How early, right? Is she gonna? Because that seems like it obviously comes up or comes to play in when they're being chased towards Shadar Logoth. But Matt's line with them kind of thinking maybe they should go back makes me think that's a lot earlier. So I don't know. I don't know if he actually sees a fireball, if it's a throwaway line. Matt's just kind of throwing something out there.
Yeah, but it's a great line. It's a great line either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Nick, always appreciate you calling in. And again, hopefully you'll stick with us and call in next week.
Yep.
Hey, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me again.
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
good night.
Bye-bye.
So the fireball line may not actually be a line of text.
Dialogue.
It could not be. Thank you. Could not be dialogue. It could just they're joking as they're reading, as they're doing their table read.
Yeah.
Trying to get into the characters. I could see that happening, or it could show up in the show. I guess we'll find out. One thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I was kind of sad about is we didn't see Zoe say anything. There's nothing
I
from
know.
Nynaeve, and there's 7 named cast actors. They couldn't have something from everybody, but
right.
I was a little sad.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, I think that they're giving us a little, we're sticking around for more, right?
It's doing its job then.
It's
it's
doing its
generating interest, and it's like, now more. Now.
Yeah, it's like we're all little Wheel of Time addicts, and they're just feeding
little.
us. Okay, some of us are big Wheel of Time addicts, and they're just feeding us little pieces of treats as we kind of walk down the pathway towards the
piece
end,
of candy.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Piece of candy.
Now, one of the things that did come up I wanted to talk about that I mentioned that we would, which was there was a rumor that it was out there, and it's since somewhat been deleted by the individuals that posted it, but I think it's interesting enough to mention, and it's on Reddit, so if we mention it, it's the same deal. Somebody mentioned that they got a photo of a Trolloc, and this person thought that it looked awesome, and it was makeup and prosthetics, and it had a beak and everything. And they were talking about how everyone was kind of interpreting this, obviously, that it's going to be more practical effects when it comes to Trollocs than digital effects or kind of CGI. So how do you guys feel about that? Is that something that excites you, that they're going to be kind of maybe going down the practical route, if there's rumors true, for the Trollocs?
Listen, practical over digital for effects is hands down the better option.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
You get Todd Masters or people of his caliber for monster makeup, and suddenly we're looking at some pretty scary monsters.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Well, I mean, and obviously I think there are going to be some digital effects when it comes to the hordes of Trollocs, but I like.
Oh, certainly, but up close,
Yeah.
Narg should be as real as possible.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Narg. Man, I wonder if we're gonna get Narg. That'd be amazing. And by the way, yeah, the second piece of this was that the individual didn't think they would shy away from visual graphics. In other words, what the Trollocs are doing, when they attack, whether or not it's people being injured and whatever, stomachs ripped open, that kind of thing. That was the rumor. Was
the cook pots.
Yeah, the cook pots, right?
Cook pots.
Was that comment the one that was in conjunction with the grimdark comment?
Yeah. This was the idea that it was going to be more. Now, I think the individual suggested more grimdark, which I think.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I had mixed feelings about that comment. Like, the Wheel of Time was never like the dark, depressing, sort of over the top, egregious gore series, right?
But there are
that was always
there are some parts like that, though.
Certainly.
Like when I'm trying to think. Like when he throws the gateways at the Trolloc horde. That
just mows through them, and there's blood and guts and limbs going all over the place. There's the description of the Battle of Manetheren doesn't pull any punches on what they were facing, and but it's not. I'm hoping that they don't use it as kind of a shock effect to either compare or contrast to Game of Thrones.
That's where I'm going with it, because when compared literary speaking, like the books, Game of Thrones was always the misogynistic, rapey, incestuous, like super dark and violent series. Wheel of Time wasn't that.
I kind of hope they use it as a shock because it is a shock because it doesn't happen very much. That
impact
kind of shock.
Over,
Right.
Yeah. I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be grimdark as far as the entire show, but certainly when it comes to Forsaken, and I would imagine we're going to get a little bit more of what's going on there. I can't imagine it's going to be too happy all the time, and they're being chased by monsters away from their village, and then Shadow Logoth is probably the epitome of
where the shadow waits
of grimdark. So, by the way, we have a caller, and I think we might know her. Let's bring her in. It's Sarah from California. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, Matt.
How are you doing?
I'm so good. I just popped on and was just so excited to see. I know this has been going on for a couple of weeks, but it was my first opportunity to kind of tune in.
Awesome.
And I'm just really excited, and I'm so glad that you're doing this. And I'm just really thrilled. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's so great.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun, right? This whole kind of live call in, hear from the fans, chat with my fellow freaks on the call about the Wheel of Time, right? It's fun.
Oh no, it's so perfect, and the format's so great, and the live reaction from the fans has been really fun, and I'm just really fully enjoying listening to it and watching it, and it's just a completely unique take and something that I've not really seen before, especially in this community. And so, you identified an area that was lacking, and I just really hope that this show grows, because it should. It's so fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, we started calling it, I think in one of the first episodes, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary and Todd and Tal, we kind of this is like Jordan Con on the road,
Yes. Yeah, that's perfect.
Like live
really
Jordan
is.
Con. No, wait, I appreciate you. I don't want to put you on the spot at all. I'm sure you didn't call for that, but I'm assuming you saw the table read today. How cool was that? What was your reaction to watching that video?
Yeah, I was there.
Right.
So it was the asset. I'm calling it the asset. The table read. It was great. Just the entire video, watching it, reliving some of those moments is always fantastic. I still can't put into words how it feels or how it felt.
Yeah.
It's just every time I try to explain it, the words get stuck. And so it's really super incredible. But I was obviously very excited to see it go live today, and the reaction has been so fantastic. And we're all just super excited. Obviously as a community, but then just like personally, it's really great to see come through and to have such a positive reaction.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I read
great.
I read a lot of people had a very emotional reaction to it. I'll admit, like, I think my first reaction to it was pretty emotional. My 74th reaction to it. Now I was like, I started, like I started digging into it, as I jokingly said before, and I started tracking the, trying to figure out who everyone was sitting at the table, which you would expect from us fanatics. But yeah, that was. I imagine you have some great memories from that, and hopefully one day you can kind of speak to that. But I appreciate you calling in and saying that.
Of course. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely am looking forward to the day where I can talk more about my experiences and had a conversation about that today, actually. And when that day would be. And so, it's all just very overwhelming. And I think just as a fan, to see it coming through, it's very overwhelming. And then as a person that's working on the show, it's incredibly crazy to see. So, but I just wanted to throw my support at you, and this is just so great, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing it. And I've heard that it's growing, and so just keep at it, and hopefully I can call in and bug you guys again.
Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to it.
Yeah.
You're the best. Hey,
Awesome.
Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you for calling in, and
Talk soon, guys.
look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, Matt.
Oh man. Yeah. Can you imagine having been there and seated there at the table read? Geesh, that's awesome. That's a dream, I think, for most of us.
There's four of us right here who got 20 years of experience with Wheel of Time. And so debating Wheel of Time. So, if they need any help, we're here.
You're throwing your hat in the ring. Nice.
Not me. I'd fangirl. I just fangirl all over the room.
It's all about balance, Tal. There's got to be somebody there who's going to be fangirl. There's got to be somebody there who's going to keep them true to the text, and there's got to be somebody there saying, "Okay, twist that screw a little more, hook that thing a little more, see what's going to happen."
And we know who that would be, eh, Mary?
Maybe.
Well, by the way, I think we're coming up on the hour here that we normally pass through by about 10 minutes. So, and we don't have any other callers on. What are you guys looking forward to from the next big announcement? So we've gotten cast announcements now for a couple, for the last two. And then this one, we got a table read. What's your next kind of ask of the Wheel of Time Amazon Prime team?
Is it too soon to ask for costumes?
Costumes and sets.
I don't think it's too soon. You heard
even
it.
Drawings.
You heard
even
it.
Drawings of the costumes.
That's what I want to see.
So I don't know if anybody watched Outlander,
long time ago.
which has also been a wildly successful novelization to TV series on Stars.
Yeah.
But the costume designer for that show would sort of show shots, like her drawings of what the costumes would look like.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd settle for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to see that. And those of you that are still with us on YouTube, again, I don't know how many are there, but if you're there, I'd love to hear what your comments are as far as, what's the next big announcement? I'd love to see costumes. That would be so cool. I would love it. So honestly, I think I even sent, I tweeted at Rafe, not that he listens to me, but I tweeted at him saying that I would love, now that he's given us the sheep, to just give us another shot of pretty much Edmonds Field, right? Just no one has to be there. Just give us a shot of the village. That's it. Maybe the Wine Spring Inn, whatever, I would love just anything there. And I think that's what they might start to do, is diversify these announcements and not always get us kind of expecting casting things, and just kind of, giving us, little tidbits here and there to start piecing it together on our own. And I hope.
Can y'all imagine how long would Matt would stare at a picture of Emmons Field?
Oh my God.
Yeah, right? I know. By the way, so next week we'll be continuing the adaptation that we were on, and we're going to start doing some additional kind of pre-recorded things. We're going to do some of my favorite. I'm going to start off with a favorite theory. I haven't determined if we're going to do this live or pre-recorded as far as having a discussion about it, but I want to do some kind of theory stuff because, of course, Theoryland, right? But yeah, we'll be doing live adaptation next Wednesday. For those of you that are here, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe with us. And tell your friends about it. We'd love to keep growing the show and having guests on, and eventually maybe having some people here in the studio with me. That would be a lot of fun. We have one more caller. We'll take his call, and then we'll sign off for the evening. We're bringing in John from Michigan. Hey, John, I think welcome back, I think I should say, right?
Yeah. Sorry I haven't called in a few episodes, and I hate to admit it, I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this one because I was watching the A's-Rays playoff game with my brother-in-law. So my apologies for missing most of this week's show, but I did want to pipe in on that read today was pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
I think listening to Matt, although I had to look up the transcript because I couldn't quite make out what he was saying.
Yeah,
but I liked his delivery.
I think I have what he said right here. He said, "Till then now." I mean, he says this a lot better than me. Let's be honest. But he says, "Till then now, my lady does shoot fireballs, so let's try to stay on her good side, eh? Or now, or whatever, something like that." So, yeah. I love the joke there, or the kind of teasing that he does, and he already kind of they seem like they're enjoying writing for him, and I'm assuming that all the writers love to write for Matt, is my guess.
Oh yeah, I mean it'd be so much easy just to insert those one-liners for him and comedic relief, or maybe even like an audience proxy or something like that.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if so it doesn't sound like you listened to much of the show yet. There's a line right at the end of the table reading where they say, so smashed after this, we smash to black the end of the episode. Do you have an idea of what scene you would like that to be, the smash to black moment? What cliffhanger at the end of maybe an episode 2 that you think would be worthy of that description?
I think, let's see here, either Moraine sinking the ferry and then realizing how strong she is or what she can do, or something to the effect of they think they got away and then all of a sudden they hear like trolloc horns or like the pursue or the pursuit starts anew kind of thing.
Yeah, I like the ferry going up. That'd be a fun smash to black moment. I think would that qualify, Tal, for smash to black?
Totally. A sinking ferry and shocked faces.
Right. That would be awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling back in, John, and catching us right at the end of the game. As always, please do call back in, and we appreciate your support.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, and you guys have a good rest of your week.
You too. Thanks.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I think the table read, and everyone's going to come out with a kind of a favorite person from that, so that was pretty cool. I think right now, I'll be honest, I mean, Matt was one of my first favorite characters ever since I started reading it. My namesake, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm shocked.
So, let's plan on, for those of you watching, please come back next week. We'll continue our live adaptation of The Eye of the World. It's a lot of fun. We have cut out the Tinkers. Sorry, but not completely. The Tinkers haven't. Todd and I saved them for the rest because we do think they're obviously important to the story. But
are they?
I think they are.
Did I save them?
There was somebody I mentioned. We were going over through some comments, and one of the commenters mentioned the idea of Elias not really being that necessary, and that he could see Elias being cut. And I was thinking you probably could keep the Tinkers and cut Elias, but I don't want to jump back into that. We can jump back into that next time. No. I wanted to throw out that interesting maybe twist to that adaptation. But yeah,
you're trying to smash to black, Matt.
Exactly. if you haven't done the live adaptation with us, it's a lot of fun. We try to track the comments on YouTube. Sorry, there were so many callers. We weren't able to kind of bring too many comments off of YouTube into the show. We'll make sure we do that during the live adaptation next week. And again, be back here, Watt Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern with us every week. I'm sure we'll take a break sometime, but not next week. We'll be back here live adaptation with my panelists. Thank you, Mary, Tal, and Todd, for the last 20 some odd years of your lives that you put into this, and for jumping on with me. It's been awesome. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
Smash the black.